An arts education program is celebrating its 15th anniversary. Joining us is Dana Carr. She is executive director of the Leaders for Tomorrow Youth Center. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
How did this get started 15 years ago?
Yes, so two friends of mine, they were classmates. We were all graduates at the Baltimore School for the Arts, and we all graduated, went to college in different professions. I studied education. One person went into finance. The other founder went into clinical-based services. And we came back to Baltimore, and at that time really noticed a disparity in terms of quality arts education programs. Being a product of the Baltimore City public school system, we wanted to do something about that. We wanted to change what the next generation of arts education would look like for young people. And so that's really how the organization got its start. We had one program in one school that encompassed music, dance, and theater, and we saw some really great outcomes. And we believe that we could then take that model and duplicate it and take over the city and beyond.
That's great. When you were a student just a few years ago at the School for the Arts, what was your specialty? You were a dancer, singer, painter?
No, never a dancer. I was a theater major.
Okay.
I do also sing, but not dance and not visual arts. So I was a theater major, and then I went to New York University and received my BFA in theater as well.
So what's the connection? What's the importance of adding elements of performance and broadening the kind of education the kids are getting?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, at that time, what we were noticing for a lot of Baltimore City school students was that they didn't have arts at all. And again, we had been products of such a rich arts education. It helped us to, improve our academic scores, be socially developed. It just helped in all aspects of our lives. And so we wanted to make sure that every student had arts in their lives, whether it was academically, in a social context, through recreation, maybe at church, and really wanted to be a part of making sure that every student had access to the arts. And so that's really, how we created it.
I wonder, is there less of it today for funding reasons, or is it this environment where the thing that matters is scores on standardized tests, and everything else is really pushed aside to concentrate on that?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a stronger focus, as you mentioned, on test scores. I came from an education background. I was a teacher for 12 years in Baltimore County, and even as I transitioned out of the classroom, I found myself being quite frustrated because there was such a focus on teaching to the test, and we were losing focus from what students were actually doing, and we know the benefits of the arts and how much impact it has on them, not only academically, but also socially and emotionally. And so I do think, unfortunately, and even for things and barriers, like you mentioned, funding, that we're still seeing, if not more, just as many schools that lack the arts and arts programming that we saw, 15 years ago.
Let's focus on the funding part for a second. People may have noticed there's a box here, and it's a drop box. This is part of a fundraising campaign.
Yes, absolutely. So we, every year around this time, holiday season, do what we call the Love Drive. And so the Love Drive is really about us giving back to the communities that we serve. LTYC is a human services organization. We always want to make sure that we are charitable to the communities that we serve. So we will have these drop boxes located at different businesses around the state, and also schools that we actually are serving. And anybody who wants to participate and give, we're asking for donations of new winter items, so hats, gloves, coats, non-perishable food items, household items, and then you can also give a monetary donation as well.
How can people support you with a monetary donation?
Yes, so several ways. Definitely through our website, which is www.ltyc.net/donate. They can email us at info@ltyc.net. Those are really the two major ways that we can connect and be able to accept a cash or monetary donation.
It's really an astounding number of kids that you've worked with over the years, 160,000. How does it work on a day-to-day basis? You have people working in local schools?
Yes. So we serve on average around 10,000 students every year. And we have an instructional team, which encompasses about 60 individuals who we deploy to schools, again, different centers, community organizations to deliver arts programming. So anything from dance, as you mentioned, music, theater, visual arts. We have a culinary arts program. We have a fashion and cosmetology program, martial arts. So everything that is the arts, creative writing, we're able to send artists and educators to go and work with the students, again, to give them a positive experience.
Are there performances, exhibitions? Do you have something on a regular basis?
Yes, I feel like we're always doing things. Every weekend there's something going on. All of our instructors work with the community organization or the school site that they are placed in, yes, to be able to do arts exhibitions. We have performances a lot of times during the holidays to celebrate different months like Hispanic Heritage Month, Black History Month, and then we're usually tasked with doing some sort of performance at the graduations at the end of the year.
Great. So if the first 15 years, we'll call that Act 1. What are you planning
I
for
like
Act?
that
What's
future
Act 2?
reference. So Act 2, so glad you asked. We are excited in really expanding our program in terms of our professional development. We have, of course, revamped and revised the programming that we do for youth. Again, my background is as an educator. When I came out of the classroom, I went into school administration, and specifically with a focus on teacher mentorship. And so the next 15 years is going to, just beef up what we are doing in terms of our professional development for teachers, thinking about how educators who are teaching the arts specifically in urban spaces need to be trained, and what specific tools and strategies they need. And we have a vision of being not only a regional but a national and even international organization. And so the next phase for us is positioned on what we will call LTYC Learn, which will be a host of online learning opportunities not only for educators but for youth as well.
Well, keep up the good work. Dana Carr, Executive Director, Leaders for Tomorrow Youth Center. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And that's our program for this week. Tune in every Thursday at this time for Your Money and Business. For all of us at MPT, thanks for watching and have a good night.